Everybody. So I'm here today to show y'all how I'm making myself a wig for the holidays, child. So let's get busy. Okay, so here's how I took some space out of the stocking cap that I'm going to be using. I used light colored thread just for this demonstration, so you guys could see what it is I'm doing, because the lighting that I'm working with in my living room isn't that high and my ring light died. So I just used light colored thread because, again, this is going to be my personal wig that I'm going to use for the wear for the holidays. Okay, so right there I'm pointing at how I took some space out of the cap on each side, because I hate to have like space on the sides of my wig. I like for my wigs to fit snug. So that's a little idea you could do of your own. Buy the cap and take some space out. And here's the hair we're using. This is Matriarch of Beauty's hair. I'm using just 2 bundles of the 20-inch wavy in South Indian raw hair, and the closure is a 7x7 closure in raw Indian. Now my Indian vendor is from South India, and I've been collecting my hair from this vendor for the last several years now, and this temple always produces good hair for me, so I'm really happy of that. And again, this vendor is in South India. Matter of fact, Andhra Pradesh, India. So if you're looking for a vendor, get in touch with me on Matriarch of Beauty page on Facebook. This vendor is for sale. So here's some of the tools I'm using. I'm going to be using this curved needle because it just helps me out a lot, as opposed to the bow needle that you see everybody using. I just prefer to use the other one. And again, I'm using this light colored thread so you all could see. See, that's the color weave thread I'm using. I normally use this color thread when I'm, gonna have a light colored wig or something like that. And here's my scissors. And I like to have everything handy so I could just keep going when I'm making a wig by hand. Normally, I make my wigs on the sewing machine, but I didn't feel like using the sewing machine. So here's my wig band. I got those from Amazon. And the lighter, everything you see, those are from Amazon. The wig bundles aren't from Amazon. They're my wig bundles. But yeah, so I'm just letting you see how you can make a full wig with 2 bundles and a 7x7 closure if your circumference is a size 22, if you don't want it really, really dense. I have made wigs with just 2 bundles of my raw 20-inch Indian hair, and it comes out nice and full. But if you want a really, really fuller look, because the bundles, they don't look like it, but each bundle has a lot of hair. See that? And the hair is really thick. Now this is naturally grown hair from South India. Okay, so right here I'm just showing you guys where I'm gonna start. And so yeah, if you're not skilled with the sewing machine, you could simply do this at home, or you could email me at moblife.beauty and I'll make it for you. Or you could go over to Matriarch of Beauty on Facebook and order a custom unit. So I just use these little pins to help me hold the hair down, because this hair is really, really soft. And I normally start with doubling the wefts in the back Yeah, I like those pens as opposed to the T-pens. The T-pens kind of start tangling the hair up in my experience with the T-pens. So I don't mess with those that much. And again, this is raw hair. It's naturally grown hair. Okay, so I just thread my needle. I don't want to bore you guys because there's so many wig making videos out on YouTube that you could go to. But I just wanted to get on here to show you guys this little trick of how you don't need to have your wig really full and dense at the edges of where each track is if you're making it by hand, if that makes any sense. What you can simply do is just drop one of the tracks as you stitch over, and that'll create a thinner track toward the end of the edges around the perimeter, so you won't have so much bulking. And again, I'm going to keep repeating this. I used light color threads so you guys could see me just for this demonstration. But if I was making this wig for someone who ordered it, the thread would be the color of the wig cap, and I would do it on the wig sewing machine. I have several sewing machines that I use, but again, I did this so just in case if you're not skilled with a sewing machine of any kind, screw a wig sewing machine, because a wig sewing machine is way difficult than a regular Singer sewing machine. If you're not skilled with any type of sewing machine, you can get a nice wig by hand. You can make a nice wig at home by hand. Just put on your favorite, videos or, reality shows on the TV and have everything you need and sit there and you have your wig head and all your supplies and you just, take your time and use this video. Okay, so right there, I have one end of the track on one side and I have the other end of the track on the other side. Now this is important. So here's where that technique comes in that I used to love to use when I made all my wigs by hand. Okay, I sew that one track over and then I fold it because I don't like cutting the raw hair bundles, because again, this hair last for 5 to 7 years. So even if your wig cap is old, you could always take this hair off of your wig cap, just wash it and condition it, and sew this hair back down on a new wig cap. Okay, so and it just preserves your investment because raw hair is kind of pricey. So here, I go through the track because my wefter is really good, so I don't experience any shedding and with my hair bundles. So yeah, I started at the bottom with the track doubled, and then I let one end of the track over to the left, and I'm bringing the other one back over to meet up with the other track that's hanging. And this is done just to create more thinner tracks without you having to cut your raw hair bundles. Okay, so you could just spread the tracks out, start with it double, and then you bring it over and you leave one track open on the other side and you put the other track open. Now see, I done braided it all, I done sewed it down all the way over. Now I'm coming to that open track. Remember, I left that track there. So I'm going to sew it down and connect them both. See? Right there. That's where you're going to connect. Okay? So you continue with that one track and you sew it down, stitch it down nice and neat and tight. And this is why young ladies charge so much for custom made hand wigs, because it is time consuming. And your hands can start hurting. You know, that's why I started using the machine, because I don't want to get carpal tunnel. But I still will make wigs by hand. Okay, so now that track is all the way over, and it's now connecting with that open end that I left out right there. So now I'm going to grab both of them just like that, and I'm going to stitch them both over to give it a little fullness. And this is at the nape or around the sides and in the back of the wig. If you like this content, please share. It really helps a girl out. I'd rather people share my content than even purchasing wigs and hair, even though that's a good thing too. But sharing helps a lot. I really appreciate everyone who watches my videos. And if you have any questions of any sort, please feel free to look me up on any one of my pages. You could inbox me. You could email me. And yeah, I'll get back to you. So yeah, see right there on the fold, when you go to fold the hair, in order for it not to be so bulky right there, you could drop one of the tracks. I normally drop the track that's closest to the wig cap. Yeah, see, I have both tracks out right there. So I sewed them down. Yeah, and then I'll start bringing the track all the way back over. And it's going to be flat. You got to make sure your track is flat. So I'll sew it all the way over until I get almost to that end right there. And then I'll drop one of the tracks so it'll be thin. Okay, see how I sewed it all the way over, 2 tracks. But now what I'm going to do is drop one of the tracks so it won't be so thick over there on that end. I'm sorry to hear, you guys gotta hear the noise. My 11-year-old, they're still home on Thanksgiving break. Yeah, so yep, so see there how I dropped one of the tracks, and now I'm just working with sewing one track on over to the edge of the wig, and that's just to not have so much bulkiness, because you look at some girls, they wigs be real puffy around the edges and around the perimeter. You don't have to have that bulk there. You just have to try to apply this technique. I would just leave behind one of the tracks right there, and then I'll bring one track over to the end. And then once I sew that down, that one track, when I'm on my way back across, I'll pick up that track that I left down and double it up. So I'll have thickness and fullness in the middle. And only up until I get to the sides is where I'll drop that track. So it won't be so thick and dense around your edges, okay? So again, this is a technique that I use. And again, I'm using this light colored thread so you guys could see. Because if I used the black thread, you wouldn't have been able to see what it is that I was doing. And I don't mind this colored thread because this is my own personal wig. I'm going to be wearing this wig over the holidays, over the Christmas and New Year's holidays. So I'm going to color this wig because this raw Indian hair can be colored. So I'm going to color the hair jet black, and I'm going to bleach certain areas of it platinum blonde, so I could have like what's called an Oreo effect with this wig. And yeah, so while I do the coloring, I'll dye the thread. Okay, so you see how I got that one track and I'm bringing it back over to that track that I left behind. So I'll fold that track over, that one track, because we don't want it thick right there, because that's near your edges. That's like around your ears. So just in case if you want to pull the wig up into a ponytail, a high ponytail, you can, and you won't have to worry about all that bulk around the edges of the wig, okay? So you fold it down really, really flat. And it's okay to take your time with doing this, you know? Especially if you have raw hair, you want to protect your investment. So there. And see how if you want to pull it up in a high ponytail, see how it's not bulky? And you just bring that one track over. Just keep sewing it down, stitching it down, and try to keep the same direction with the needle and thread. So the guts of the wig, or the inside of the wig, will be nice and neat. Yeah, see how I'm sewing it? I'm coming back towards that track that I left behind. And once I get to that track that I left behind, I'll pick it up and simply add it into the track that I'm sewing down. And then I'll have two tracks. See how they meeting again? Then what I'll do is pick it up and bring it over into the rest of the sew down. And now you got double tracks in the middle, and then you're going to have your thickness and fullness in the middle. And once it comes to the sides, it'll be a little more thinner, and you won't have all that bulk. And if you want to pull it up, see how it's nice and flat on the edges. And again, I used the light colored thread just so you guys could see what it is I'm doing. And now this is the part where I added in the closure. I almost called it a frontal, but it's so big, it's almost like a frontal to me. But it's 7x7 raw Indian. And yeah, because I like to do frontals for myself, because it depends on what the occasion is, but a lot of my personal wigs are closure wigs, rather closure. See, I keep making a mistake saying frontal because it's so big. But yeah, I like closure wigs because I just get a big closure. I'm popular for using for myself the 7x7 closure, and cause that takes up a lot of space across my forehead and around my temples. So I don't really show my around my ears that much with my wig. So unless I'm wearing a style or I want to wear a certain style with all my hair pulled back or my wig pulled back, that's when I'll use one of my frontals. But for the most part, for everyday mommy running around and just wanting to look good for the hubby, you know, or just, you know, all around just wearing a wig, because I'm a wig wearer, because I suffered from alopecia. So I wear wigs on a regular basis. I'll wear the 7x7 closure, and I'll just get good hair, and that's that. So I'm sorry I lost that clip of me sewing the rest of the closure down, but this is the finished product, and this is the inside of the wig. Now again, I'm gonna dye my wig, so I'm gonna dye that white thread black, so in the end it won't be seen. So I'll be back to you guys with this wig. So I'm letting you guys see it so you guys will see the stitching to see that that's going to be the same wig. I'm going to come back and color this wig for you guys and color the thread and all that stuff. And yeah, so this is what she looks like on. So I have to still customize her. I'm going to do a little plucking around the edges. But yeah. So you see, I don't really show my ears all that much, but when I do my customization of this wig, I'm going to show you how you could finesse that around the ears to make it look like you have a frontal. And I'm going to bleach the knots and customize it. So yeah, this is two bundles of 20-inch raw Indian hair with a 7x7 raw closure. And see how nice and full it is? So I'm happy. Thank you guys for watching, and please share. Have a good one. Bye.